Hello sir, my name is Dhaval Pandav. I am from collegedunia.com. A very warm welcome to our interview series which is called Thoughts on Education, where we interview with the various dignitaries such as owners, VCs, principals, HODs and teachers. Before I proceed with this interview, I would request you to give a brief introduction about yourself. Sir.
Thank you very much. And my name is Shariq Nisar, and I head Rizvi Institute of Management Studies and Research. Over the last 2 years, I'm working as a principal here, and before that, I joined this institute as a professor in 2016. So that's.
It was really nice knowing about you and your experience, sir. So my first question is, you have held key position at Education Institute throughout your professional career. What keeps you connected with the education sector, and how has been your experience so far with this institute?
Thank you. So I have spent a good amount of my time in the industry, and it was 2013, 10 years ago, when I got a lucky break at Harvard Law School when they invited me to join and work as a senior visiting fellow there. Upon returning to India, I developed more interest in the academia, and I joined ITM Business School as a professor there. There I started India's first Center for Alternative Finance. The idea behind that was a lot of new learnings in financial sector take time in getting introduced in academic institutions. So the idea of that center was to introduce student and faculty members to all new ideas of finance emerging, like fintech, microfinance, alternative finance, etc., etc. Immediately afterwards, I got a chance to join Rizvi Institute of Management, and since 2016 I am serving this institute, and I'm lucky to head one of the prominent institute in the city of Mumbai, and I feel lucky that I get a chance to implement my ideas of education.
Being the principal of Rizvi Institute of Management Studies and Research, what are your philosophy of leadership, and how would you describe your leadership style, sir?
That's an interesting question. I feel there is a remarkable difference between boss and leader. When I talk about boss, it's more like somebody following order like military, and when you talk about leadership, it is more like inspiring through your own action and leading to trust in your subordinates. So my leadership philosophy is that you give your subordinates an opportunity, even if they are making mistake, have patience with them, and with trust that you show and the opportunity that you make them learn, comes a good working culture, and that is how I have been trying to function here as a principal.
The education system in India and foreign countries are structured very differently. In your experience, what can inbound students can gain by studying it here?
That's another very interesting question, because when we look at education system in other countries, I'm talking about developed world, one of the largest foreign exchange remitters in the world is Indian students going abroad for education in the countries like UK, Europe and USA. So there is something fundamentally lacking in our education system, where parents are ready to spend huge amount of money in getting their wards educated abroad, rather than having faith in the Indian education system. That is something which I feel is a very genuine concern of Indian parents. And if you look at the way Indian universities operate, unfortunately the system is very archaic, it's very slow, the experiential learning is extremely lacking. Although after new education policy of 2020 there has been some attempt, but how far that will really translate into reinvigorating the education system is an issue. Just the other day there was research I was reading that Indian students of 10 years of age are not able to read second standards of book. They are not able to make normal division and subtraction, etc. numerically, and that becomes a big burden on them when they wish to go and pursue higher educations. So a basic ability is quite lacking in our school system, and that results in high dropout rates, that results in poor skilling of our students. So I think that right from bottom to top, things are required to be changed, approach need to be changed, perspective need to be changed, and I think it's a huge task, but I believe that we are on right path. by allowing foreign institutes coming to India. I think that will improve our education system, especially starting with the top, which is higher education.
How does the curriculum of Rizvi Institute of Management and Studies and Research ensure the students are practicing best of the industry?
This is something I would want to take time for the reason that university curriculum, we offer MMS program of Mumbai University, and university curriculum many a times we feel that is not up to the requirement of the industry. That is number one. Number two, there is a lot of time taken in making changes in the courses, etc., etc. So you got to teach 8 subjects as recommended by university each semester. Now if you are sending your students with 8 subjects, every other institute is doing the same thing. So there are almost 100 institutes in the city. How are you differentiating yourself from rest of the institute? And that is where we spend a lot of our energies in going out to industry, choosing people who are leaders in their respective fields, and giving them a freedom to design and develop their own courses. So we teach a lot of add-on courses, and that add-on courses will sometimes not appear to be very connected to MBA courses. For example, we are teaching this year governance. Now somebody might ask what this governance subject is to do with MBA student or MMS student, but I feel that management is all about governance. How do you bring efficiency in your institution is a very key important learning for a management student. Similarly, we put a lot of emphasis on communication skills, on numerical ability, on skills of software skills. So these are add-on courses that we teach. Current affairs is another subject that we take a lot of pride in teaching. Now students many a times are not familiar about the country as a whole. They do not know about other states. They do not know about India being a federal country and what kinds of rights and duties each state have, etc. So we teach a lot of different subjects to our management institute, in addition to the subjects that are required to be taught as for MMS course as required by the University of Mumbai.
Any suggestion you would like to give to the current youth and aspiring students?
The only suggestion I would say that I feel students, the generation is quite smart than what we think we were at our time, but a lot of distractions are there, and I definitely see that students, despite working very hard, they are not able to achieve good result because of the distractions that they have through social media, etc. They spend a lot of time on social media. They spend a lot of time on something which is not going to add to their skills. So while there is a lot of opportunities in the modern time because of technology to add to your skills, but we end up spending our time on something that is not very fruitful. So my advice would be that students should focus and concentrate on skilling themselves, because skills get very quickly it gets obsolete. So skilling and re-skilling is always should always be the focus, and I think with this kind of attitude and some controlled involvement in social media kind of things can help them.
It was a pleasure talking to you and interviewing on Thoughts on Education, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.